Honourable Member for Davenport.
Thank you so much, Mr. Speaker. As always, it's a true pleasure for me to rise in this House to speak on behalf of the amazing residents and constituents in my community, my constituency of Davenport. And I'll be speaking today on Bill C-12, an act respecting certain measures relating to the security of Canada's borders and the integrity of the Canadian immigration system, and respecting other related security measures. Mr. Speaker, C-12 makes critical amendments that will keep Canadians safe and secure by providing law enforcement with the resources to disrupt increasingly complex criminal groups, strengthening border security and improving our immigration system while protecting privacy rights under our Canadian Charter of Rights and Freedoms. And of course, this legislation builds on $1.3 billion investment in border security. Before I go further, Mr. Speaker, I just want to recognize that we're gathered today on the traditional and unceded territories of the Algonquin and Anishinaabe people. Mr. Speaker, whenever I'm examining new legislation, I often ask myself a series of questions. So, who's going to benefit from this bill? How will this legislation improve our immigration programs and services for newcomers? And will it improve government services and support? In reviewing the proposed amendments for the Strengthening Canada's Immigration System and Borders Act, which is Bill C-12 before this House today, I believe the answer, Mr. Speaker, is yes, yes, and yes. I believe this legislation strikes the right balance. It would improve how the government serves Canadians, newcomers, and those seeking Canada's protection. It would also strengthen our security and safety. It would support our economic growth with a more efficient and effective system, and it would improve communication and cooperation between federal, provincial, and territorial governments. The measures proposed in this bill are designed to improve our immigration and asylum systems to better meet the needs of our country and those needing our protection. It fits with our commitment to a more sustainable immigration system that is aligned with our capacity to absorb, employ, and house newcomers. Canadians want our country's asylum seeker to uphold our proud humanitarian tradition and to continue to be a beacon of hope and opportunity to the world's most vulnerable. At the same time, Canadians don't want our resources to be devoted to people who attempt to shortcut our immigration processes or abuse the generosity of our communities for their own personal gain. This legislation, Mr. Speaker, before us proposes a reasonable balance to managing claims for asylum, either at the border or in Canada, and appropriately refers claims to the Immigration and Refugee Board for a decision. The bill would improve the management of the asylum system with enhanced efficiencies in processing claims. For example, creating a single online application process which would make an application simpler and help with information sharing across the appropriate departments and agencies. This would make sure that cases are decision-ready when they're referred to the Immigration and Refugee Board. That would benefit asylum claimants wanting to know if they're eligible for Canada's protection. Under the legislation, Mr. Speaker, the federal government would change how it manages specific asylum claims, including claims made more than 1 year after someone's first arrival in Canada after June 24, 2020. The claims made by those who are irregularly entering Canada make a claim 14 or more days later and effectively avoiding returning to the U.S. under the Safe Third Country Agreement. Mr. Speaker, people are always going to be able to submit claims. That doesn't change with this legislation, and also this legislation will not ensure that claims will be dismissed. But the claims would instead be referred to our fair and comprehensive removal process, which includes the ability to seek a pre-removal risk assessment. This all would help reduce pressure on the asylum system and protect it against sudden increases in claims, while ensuring fair and fast consideration of claims of risk. These new rules, Mr. Speaker, would streamline the claims process that would benefit asylum claimants who right now are waiting way too long to have their cases reviewed and decided. Some of these people may have fled their home countries to live in a democratic and free country. They may have left to seek religious freedom. They may have come to Canada to live their preferred gender or identity. If they have made it to Canada and have made an asylum claim, we want their claims to be processed in a timely as well as a fair manner. Mr. Speaker, these measures in the bill would also support a closer working relationship between the federal government and the provinces and territories. Under the current legislation, the federal government shares some information, but gaps in our legal framework mean we often have to do so on a case-by-case basis. It means we will update sharing provisions to provide information on immigration, citizenship, and passport to clients sooner. This would help all orders of government and our domestic partners work together to get newcomers the services they need faster. I understand this has been a request from our partners for some time. We know that provinces and territories deliver so many of the important on-the-ground services that newcomers, including asylum claimants, rely upon. So in collaboration with the federal government and with our support, they provide much needed access to healthcare and social programs. They are an important partner in the process of welcoming and integrating newcomers. Providing current and accurate information is essential for any productive partnership. So, Mr. Speaker, finally, I would like to say this bill would improve how we would work together to better protect Canadians. At the end of the day, a main priority of Parliament and all orders of government is the safety and security of our citizens and residents. In recent years, we have seen human smugglers and organized crime groups attempt to guide people across our borders through irregular points of entry. The legislation, if passed, proposes that those trying to shortcut our immigration process by crossing irregularly into Canada and making an asylum claim would have their claims referred to the CBSA and not the Immigration and Refugee Board. Mr. Speaker, there have been concerns raised that people are using multiple identities or different names to access benefits in Canada. This is simply not acceptable. By improving our information sharing among partners, we will help clarify the identity of anyone seeking to defraud our systems. The legislation also proposes that only hearing-ready claims will be forwarded for review by the Immigration Refugee Board. That will give national security and law enforcement the time needed to conduct thorough background checks, confirm identity, and examine any potential links to criminal history or activities. Mr. Speaker, together, these measures would reassure Canadians that our systems are effective and our borders are secure, and that will help improve trust in our immigration system. So, Mr. Speaker, I see clear benefits coming out of this legislation, benefits to our country's immigration system, including supporting the more efficient work of the federal government and all levels of government, and improving the services to Canadians and newcomers. It would streamline decision-making, it would reduce efforts to bypass our migration programs and rules, and it would improve the collaboration across all levels of government. Mr. Speaker, rest assured, this bill is a key part of the government's forward-looking agenda, and I urge my fellow honourable members from all sides of this House to join me in supporting this important legislation today. Thank you so much, Mr. Speaker.